This hour by Frederick Remington, fully cooked, ready-to-eat bacon. Exclusive, no refrigeration, 10-year extended shelf life bacon. The thickest, meatiest, center-cut bacon in the industry at fullycookedbacon.com.
The stocks discussed on Wall Street Raw are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. If considering acting on information, we first recommend you seek out a competent, licensed professional for advice.
What kingdom has sent you?
The kingdom of the Most High.
Nothing you have ever experienced can prepare you for the unbridled carnage you're about to witness. Super Bowl, the World Series, they don't know what pressure is. In this building, it's either kill or be killed. You make no friends in the pits and you take no prisoners. 1 minute, you're up $500,000 in soybeans, and the next, boom, your kids don't go to college and they've repossessed your Bentley. Are you with me?
The Genesis Communication Network is proud to bring you Wall Street Raw with nationally recognized market timer and previous Wall Street Week elf, Mark Leibovit, welcoming you on board his financial time machine. And here is the elf himself, Mark Leibovit.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. It's Mark Leibovit, and welcome to Wall Street Raw on this Saturday, October 28th. Wow, what a month, and what a day on Friday as we saw the market continue to explode higher, though the Dow didn't make a new high. The NASDAQ certainly did, and the almost unbelievable move in Amazon on Friday, up 128 points, just blew the top off the NASDAQ, and a lot of other big movers in NASDAQ as well. So really the real question is, what's happening here? Is this a blow-off or just the beginning of something even bigger? We're in a cyclical positive time frame. We should have come down in October, and we didn't, and we have a lot of questions to answer, so we'll hope to cover those on and off during the course of the program. Again, this is Wall Street Raw. I'm your host, Mark Leibovit. If you want more information about my services, please go to vrtrader.com, where we cover gold, cannabis, all the major indexes, and do our best to cover the broad markets as much as we can, and we do this every day at vrtrader.com. The show is archived here at GCN Live, also on iTunes. And if you have any questions for me, don't forget to email me directly at mark.vrtrader.com, mark.vrtrader.com. We have a busy show for you today. We have a bunch of guests. Our friend Sinclair No will be with us later in the show. And we're going to join right now our first guest, Henry Weingarten. Welcome back, my good friend, Henry Weingarten from the Astrologers Fund. Henry's a regular guest on our program and has made extraordinary calls in the market in the last couple of years, and it's always a pleasure having him on the show. Henry, good morning. Thank you for joining us on this Saturday morning.
My pleasure. Anyway, as you know, the markets are in a slight up phase. It's nothing I really want to play, but it's nothing I want to fight with either. We expected them to be up, and they may stay up for another week or so, but it's also possible they're going to stay up to the end of the year. If you think about when you want to sell, there's little reason to sell. Although January 1st, I think there's a lot of reason to sell. And obviously NASDAQ, the way it's going, can go to 7,000, which was our P3 target. Nothing I'm comfortable buying. We're continually selling, or actually writing calls in more conservative portfolios. But we gave up about a week or two ago going short. There were a couple of days we wanted to go long by our method, but emotionally I didn't feel comfortable. I didn't like the risk, even though the markets are up. So that's sort of where we're at. The only thing that's really makes sense to me, the bonds at about 240 is where they belong, and eventually they're going to be 275 or 3. I mean, that's realistic. But many of the other things we follow are just out of bounds and don't really belong where they are.
Well, the U.S. dollar continues to rally, blowing away those who are pushing for a weak dollar. And up to this point, it's been affecting the gold market. We talked about it, but gold seems to be trying to rally here a little bit.
It's overdone. I mean, that's we're continually buying. We're actually over-allocated in that, and that I'm willing to constantly buy. And I'm not selling as much as I should there. As traders, of course, as investors, we want to have it for both insurance and other reasons. Clearly, under 1280 is certainly a buy. If it goes to 1250, we'll buy a lot more, but I don't expect to see that. It certainly should be over 1300 by the end of the year. They're only going to do 7 out of 9 increases, and that really does not mean gold should be under 1,300. Most analysts have a 1,400 target over the next 1 to 2 years, and we're one of them. So that's one of the few areas that's a buy for us. Energy is also a bit of a buy, but here we're really closing our books early more than anything else and thinking about what we want to do in January.
Well, speaking of energy, crude oil broke out to new relative highs on Friday, and you've been projecting a big move in the fourth quarter or next year.
Well, that was our view. Remember, our view was that with fourth quarter that the oil and energy would be up, and it's going to be up next year. So we think we'll see 65 at that point, where it'll be in the 55 to 65 range. So that's one of the ones we could buy, but again, we're not comfortable with the market the way it is.
Okay. All right, so Monday is Halloween. We'll see if the market gives us a little bit of a trick-or-treat here, with this blow-off, but...
I don't think so. I think if it scares anything, it'll take Bitcoin out. I mean, that's an absurd
okay, situation. I know you're not a fan of Bitcoin.
We're not a fan of it, no.
Henry Weingarten from the Astrologers Fund. Have a great weekend, Henry. Thank you for joining us. Take care.
You're welcome. Sure.
Welcome back, and we missed Kyle last week, but we have Kyle now. Kyle Dennis, who's the Chief Biotech Strategist at RagingBull.com, and as you probably remember, he's an independent securities trader focusing on uncovering undervalued stocks in the market with a focus on the biotech sector. Thank you for taking a couple of minutes with us on this Saturday morning, Kyle.
Always a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
Well, we had a little bit of a correction in the biotechs, and you've been predicting that. So let's talk a little bit about what's going on in the biotechs.
Yeah, the IBB, the biotech index, is coming in here a bit. I think my call was a tad bit early. It traded sideways for a while, for a couple weeks, and now it's finally starting to dip back down. And this just generally happens where we get these ebbs and these flows in these indices. We've had a really nice run since the middle of June, pretty much going straight up, and now it's time for a little bit of profit taken, and that's been caused by a couple of earnings calls that we saw, Celgene and Gilead, which didn't hit expectations, so those have come back down. Now, those two stocks are weighted very heavily in the IBB, and so that correlation has brought down the IBB as well, which makes a lot of other things out there trade the same and come back in. Now, I don't have too many biotech names in my portfolio right now because I thought we were going to get a little bit of a dip. So I'm welcoming this. I think this is going to be a great opportunity because come in a few weeks, we're going to have the ASH conference, and that's starting with abstracts November 1st, and then the conference in December. And then in January, we have the J.P. Morgan Healthcare Conference. Now, one of the picks that we talked about earlier this year was Eiger Therapeutics, symbol EIGR. This one we traded very nicely from about the $8 region up until its catalyst event. It just priced a secondary offering, so now they have a bunch of cash, and it's at about $10.95, $11 per share right now, and I think that it's going to be a good buy because they're going to have more data coming out at that J.P. Morgan Healthcare Conference that I just mentioned, and that's going to be in January. They priced the offering at 10. So I think that's going to be the level of support to watch for an entry possibly around 10 and for it to settle around there in the next few weeks and then possibly to take a position for that catalyst run. And I think that it has potential to at least go back up to the highs where it was before, which is about $14 a share.
Sounds great, Kyle. Thank you so much. Kyle Dennis from RagingBull.com. If you want more information, go there and check out his great website. Have a great weekend, Kyle, and thank you again for joining us.
You too. Thank you.
Yeah, great calls on the part of Kyle. I know that IBB, the biotech index, was running up there in the last few weeks. He's been telling us to look for a pullback, and even some of his favorites like Gilead did pull back here, so offering some near-term buying opportunities. So coming up on the next segment, our good friend Harry Boxer are going to be joining us along with Rob Levy from Border Gold. So should be really fascinating talking to both of my good friends. And please stay tuned. We'll be back after the break here on Wall Street Raw.
You're listening to Wall Street Raw with Mark Leibovit. Go to wallstreetradio.com for information on Mark's newsletters and products. Stay tuned. Mark will be right back.
cooked, ready-to-eat bacon. I'm talking thick, meaty, center-cut presidential bacon. Savory and delicious. I buy some, I use some, I store some. Awesome. No refrigeration needed with a 10-year shelf life. NASA pack technology. Bacon. Fully cooked, fully hydrated, ready to eat right from the packed bacon. Or warm and served. Life-saving, ready-to-eat bacon. 10-year shelf life bacon. Ships free at fullycookedbacon.com. Fullycookedbacon.com.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, the inventor of MyPillow, and like all of you out there, I had problems sleeping. Pillows would go flat, I would flip-flop all night long, I would wake up with a sore neck, maybe a headache, or feel like I needed a nap even though I slept 8 hours. When I invented MyPillow, I wanted it to where you could move the patented fill to give you the exact support you need as an individual, regardless of sleep position. MyPillow will get you into that deep REM sleep faster, and you will stay there longer. It's not about how much time we spend in bed, it's about how much of that quality sleep we get. I do all of my own manufacturing right here in the United States. I have a 10-year warranty. You can wash and dry my pillow, and I give you a 60-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. And here's my best offer ever. You can buy one of my pillows and get one absolutely free.
Go to mypillow.com or call 800-870-0305 and use promo code GCN. That's mypillow.com or 800-870-0305 with promo code GCN.
Anytime, any place, anywhere. Radio remains the most intimate of all forms of media. At home, at work, in the car, on smartphones. Over 90% of consumers still listen to radio every week. That makes choosing radio as a place to advertise your business one of the best decisions you can make. Email advertise@gcnlive.com and partner up with an experienced GCN representative. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
Looking for that edge during those intimate moments? We see many ads for enhancement, but the side effects include death. At GCN Team, we should change the Healthy Body, Brain, and Heart Pack to the Healthy Libido Pack. The brain and heart are not the only organs that require a healthy vascular system. For proper blood flow at the right moment, go to GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-774-3149 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-774-3149. Again, that's 800-774-3149.
In an emergency, you need a fire now. But what if the wood is wet? No problem for InstaFire. Our non-toxic fire starter packs lights wet wood, floats, and can even burn on water or in any weather. Sustains winds up to 30 miles per hour, and each pouch weighs only 1.75 ounces. Need an emergency or camp stove? Get the InstaFire Inferno stove that boils 20 ounces of water in under 3 minutes with controllable heat and temps from 425 to 1500 degrees. Free shipping. Go to InstaFire.com and use discount code Radio30 at the 3 times for 30% off your order. InstaFire. Fire in an instant.
Think positive. Never show any sign of weakness. Always go for the throat. Buy low, sell high. Fear, that's the other guy's problem.
Welcome back to the Wall Street Raw Radio Show with Mark Leibovit, your time machine for the financial markets. Want to know more? Go to wallstreetrawradio.com. Now, here's the elf himself, Mark Leibovit.
Welcome back, my good friend and always special guest, Harry Boxer from the Tech Trader Harry runs a trading room during the day, live trading room, and amazing short-term trading opportunities presented regardless of what the stock market is doing on any given day. It's always having fun following the action. Nice having you on the show again, Harry. Thank you. And what's going on today?
Well, today the market gapped up, and a lot of stocks started doing the same thing. Skechers had a great earnings report. They popped it up to 28.9 range. We actually bought the first little consolidation, and it's now at 33 and still running. So that was a good one. TEAM, a company called Atlassian, ran up early and formed a wedge at around 47.5, and right now, it got up to 50.5 for 3-point trade. And one of the big ones today is QURE, which yesterday I told everyone to buy on a pullback at 13. It almost got to 19.5 today, so it's like 50% since yesterday midday. Amazing. These biotechs are amazing, aren't they?
It is. So, well, what's more amazing is the market continuing to move higher and higher. It's an overbought territory, and the Dow is well over 23,000, got almost to 23,300. Well, what do you think?
Well, I completely disagree with you. McClellan Oscillator is minus 22. How is that overbought?
Okay. Well, relative strength is at high levels, for example.
Yeah, and let me say this. The reason for the McClellan Oscillator being minus 22 is because during this run-up, we've had, I would say, pretty poor breadth, BREADTH, right? Mm-hmm. The breadth of the market is with advanced declines and up-down volume, has been somewhat narrow. So you have to be in the right stocks. Talk to any trader I know. They're all complaining it's tough to trade these days. Well, that's because you're in the wrong stocks. You're not in TechTrader.com.
or you have to own the S&P or the Dow, which is leading the way.
Right. As a matter of fact, I have a really good analyst friend of mine who said, and I quote, "To me, the line in the sand is 1973. 2573. And we're at 2571.5 now. When we get above that level, he says the market can go on the blow-off stage, or he can peak out right here. So this is kind of an important area. And I'm going to discount this week. There's a lot of stuff going on politically and internationally, and and Spain, hit the market this week. So I'm going to look. The Dow's up 119 to 23,282, a new all-time high. The S&P is 2571 and change, up to almost 10. And yet advanced declines are only 16 to 12 positive in New York. Nasdaq's 2-1. But even 2-1 in the bull market is no big deal. The up-down volume in New York is 79 to 73. That's how narrow it is. At least on Nasdaq, it's almost 2-1. Nasdaq's having a better day today than the blue chips.
Right. It's an index play. That's what it is. Yeah. Harry, thank you for joining us. Harry Boxer from the TechTrader.com. If you want more information, go to the TechTrader.com, and it's a lot of fun watching and hearing the trades.
2 weeks free. Come into site and have all the services that we provide for free, no credit card required.
Okay, 2 weeks, right. 2 week free trial.
Yep.
Go to the TechTrader.com. Great, Harry. Thank you, and we'll have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you next week. Thank you. Bye-bye. Welcome back, my good friend Rob Levy from Border Gold. It's been a few months since we've had Rob on the phone, and we miss having him. Rob, thank you again for joining us.
Oh, it's nice to be back with you, Mark.
Border Gold is one of Canada's leading silver and gold dealers, and as a point of disclosure, I do a lot of business with Border Gold, so it's a great firm to do business with if you're looking to purchase any gold, silver products. And Rob's a little bit of, more than a little bit, an expert in the gold and silver market, so he could guide you once you make that phone call. But the way to reach him is at bordergold.com. So, Rob, what's going on here? We've had the U.S. dollar rallying, putting a little pressure on gold, but on Friday we start to see a little bit of an uptick, even though the dollar was strong. What's your thoughts?
My thought there is that speaks to the heightened level of uncertainty, economic uncertainty that's going on in this world, and it shows the case. I mean, even in environments where we have a strong U.S. dollar like we do today, you had the GDP numbers that were significant, businesses spending in the U.S. despite all this protectionist and NAFTA talk. So you've got reasons for a U.S. dollar to rally, but a gold price is holding in there. So, our view has always been in this business. I mean, we're not traders when you're buying physical. You're buying, you're holding, you're putting away. And it just speaks to, when you have that little bit of a bit of gold holding on in the strong dollar environment, speaks to that added uncertainty right now, and the reason why you still want to hold a little gold.
And what about silver? Silver seems to be the laggard here. It doesn't seem to be catching any fire, and those in the market feel like that's really where the value is.
Exactly, and I've been a believer in silver for years. I always think you got to hold gold and silver, but if you look at the precious metal markets and what it's done lately, is silver just hasn't been inspiring people, and it's because we've had prices that have been trapped in this sort of $15 to $17 range. Speaking very broadly, there hasn't been much excitement in the market. So you look at the numbers of what's coming out of, say, the U.S. Mint or the Canadian Mint in terms of bullion sales. And coin production is off for that simple reason that, there's just not the excitement in the silver market. You still see, the one-off deals, big buyers coming in to accumulate bullion, but it's certainly not like it was, sort of 4 or 5 years ago when everyone was climbing into the silver market because, we had the excitement, the volatility, and the new price levels always bringing in new buyers. So it is a little stagnant from that sense right now.
Rob, we only have about 30 seconds. One of the best performing metals this past year, as you know, is palladium. What's going on there, in your opinion?
It's hard because palladium's an industry story. It's one that, precious metal buyers haven't been enthusiastic about. The U.S. Mint came out with the Palladium Eagle this year, and, they got their buyers because of the way their allocation programs were committed to supporting that coin. So we've got a new Palladium Eagle on the market, but even at the Canadian Mint, Palladium Maple Leaf sales are a little soft. In the resale market, Palladium's losing value. So I think it is a little bit more of an industry story, but from an investment opportunity, that could change things on the bullion side because of, the run demand for gasoline cars crowding out diesel vehicles in Europe and that kind of story. So palladium could get a little bit of excitement.
Rob, thank you again for joining us. Rob Levy from Border Gold. And if you want more information, go to bordergold.com. And hope to have you back real soon, Rob. Thanks for taking a few moments on this Saturday morning with us.
Thanks for having me, Mark. Nice to be with you.
Thank you, Rob. And my apologies to Harry Boxer. We taped an interview on Friday, and for some reason we heard last week's interview, not the one from Friday where we addressed the big move in Amazon and many of the NASDAQ stocks. So hopefully we'll get caught up next week with that interview. So our good friend Sinclair from KFN 1510 and from EatTheBankers.com will be joining us here after the break, and hopefully he'll have time for 2 segments. Please don't touch your dial. We'll be back after the break.
Go to WallStreetRawRadio.com for more information on Mark's newsletters and products. Stay tuned. Mark will be right back.
High-performance investors and traders use superior financial tools to achieve superior returns. You have that tool with Mark Leibovit, nationally renowned top market timer, legendary television Wall Street Week elf, and nightly business report market monitor, who shares with you his unique market tools and commentary at wallstreetraw.com. At wallstreetraw.com, Mark provides you with his latest ideas on how to help build and protect your wealth and help you avoid the next big market crash. Mark has a special free gift for listeners of his Wall Street Raw radio show. Go to wallstreetraw.com and sign up for his free monthly Cannabis Vice News Raw report. While there, go ahead and sign up for his free monthly Gold News Raw report. Both are totally free. No credit card information is required. Sign up today for your free Cannabis Vice News Raw and Gold News Raw reports at wallstreetraw.com. That's wallstreetraw.com.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-557-0158. That's 800-557-0158. Again, 800-557-0158.
Warning, if you're drowning in debt you can't afford, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to pay it all back, because you don't. What the credit card companies don't want you to know is that there's actually a way to get debt-free without paying off your entire debt or going bankrupt. If you have $5,000 or more in credit card debt, you now have the right to let us settle that debt for a fraction of what you owe. For free information, call Credit Associates now. 1-800-959-5759. We'll even show you how much money you could save. If you can't afford to pay off all your debt, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to. Call Credit Associates now for free information on how to get debt-free faster than you ever thought possible without debt consolidation or bankruptcy. We depend on your success and offer a guarantee, so there's no risk. For free information, call now. 1-800-959-5759. That's 1-800-959-5759. 1-800-959-5759.
It's been said, any society is only 3 missed meals away from chaos. Those times may be near. Think about it. Our country faces multiple terrorist threats and aggressions from Russia and North Korea. Social unrest and violent marches yet again may lead to looting of stores and city shutdowns. And our crumbling infrastructure leaves our power grid vulnerable to long-term outages from a single cyber attack. When the chaos from any one of these threats arises, the government knows it can't provide during a widespread national emergency. That's why you need your own plan for self-reliance. That's where My Patriot Supply comes in. Get a 4-week survival food supply for only $99. That includes breakfast, lunches, and dinners. Order online at preparewithgcn.com. $99 for 4 weeks of survival food that tastes like homemade cooking and lasts up to 25 years from My Patriot Supply. Get your kits today at preparewithgcn.com. Free shipping is included. Preparewithgcn.com.
Against thy neighbor. Thou shalt not covet anything that is thy neighbor.
Welcome back to Wall Street Raw. Want to know more about Wall Street Raw and the Leibovit VR newsletters? Go to wallstreetrawradio.com.
Back by good friend Sinclair Nope from KFN in 1510 Phoenix and author of the incomparable blog EatTheBankers.com. Good morning, Sinclair. Thank you for joining us on this Saturday morning.
Good morning, Mark. Always a pleasure. Thank you.
Let's jump right into banks behaving badly segment. I know we've been talking about Wells Fargo and stuff over the last several weeks, but as you know, whenever you open a bank account and apply for a credit card, there's a ton of fine print, which includes a clause that says if there is a problem, it must be resolved through arbitration. Apparently this is in jeopardy now, according to what I'm reading.
Yeah, it appears to be so. Of course, all that fine print on a credit card application, on a bank application, a bank account application, brokerages, actually you can extend it to a lot of things. There are terms and conditions online, and most of us just scroll right through that and click the box. We don't even think about it. But the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau approved a rule that would block mandatory arbitration clauses and allow more people to file or join a lawsuit to press their complaints if there is a problem. Now, somebody could still go through arbitration if they wanted to, but at least they had an option if arbitration did not seem to be a satisfactory process to follow.
Mm-hmm.
So, if a bank were to open bogus accounts in your name, not that any bank would ever do something so egregious.
Yeah, unheard of.
Yeah, wait a minute. Wells Fargo, of course. Or if they started to rack up unwarranted fees. Or if they started to charge you for insurance without your knowledge. Something like that. You could still resolve the matter through arbitration, or you could take it to the courts. Now, there's a problem with arbitration. There are actually several problems with arbitration. One, it's difficult for most people to take time out of their schedule to attend arbitration over a relatively small dispute. Say you've got a dispute for over $50. Do you take the day off of work to go down to an arbitration hearing to resolve a $50 matter? And a lot of people would say no. They don't have the time to do that. They can't get away from their job to do that. It just doesn't make sense. A lot of people just throw up their hands and they give up. Another problem is that if someone reaches a settlement through arbitration, maybe you go in and you press your case and you've got all your paperwork in order and you say, see, the bank really was wrong in charging me for this unwanted auto insurance that I never signed up for. Generally, anything that comes out of arbitration requires non-disclosure, meaning that other potential plaintiffs do not have the benefit of knowing that other consumers have been wronged, how they settled. Did they settle for $50 or $100? Or what evidence might have been uncovered in the process. So there's no precedent established through the process of arbitration. So somebody goes in and says, they opened up an account and started charging me for auto insurance. I already had auto insurance, didn't need it, didn't authorize it. Well, the arbitrator in that case looks at it and says, oh, that's just one simple mistake. It's not a pattern of improper or illegal behavior. And let's throw in one more thing here. Who picks the arbitrator? It is typically the defendant. In other words, the bank, the credit card company, they choose the arbitrator. And if the arbitrator does not give a decision that they approve of, they'll go to another arbitrator. They know the available arbitrators in any given jurisdiction. They can kind of pick and choose, whereas a consumer who goes in one time never has that kind of knowledge of this. So this is really something that limits the ability of any consumer to find out what they're getting into and to resolve anything. Basically, at this point, a bank, a credit card company, any number of other companies can basically play games, rip off consumers, and the consumer has no realistic recourse to fight them back. Now, if there's a large class action suit, that might be a different matter. That gets the attention of the bank or the credit card company or the other business. They can't just shine that off so much. That is the kind of thing that forces them to change their behavior moving forward and to actually come up with some compensation for the consumer. The flip side of this is the argument that, if you go to class action, the attorneys are the ones who make the money. And it's true, attorneys do make money in class action suits. There's no question about that. But we also know that the consumer typically gets 1,000 times more in compensation when going through class action than they do when going through arbitration. So the Treasury Department this week issued a report to argue against those protections, and the late night, Congress got together, and by a very thin vote, it came down to Vice President Pence casting the deciding vote. They basically wiped out the CFPB protections, which hadn't even gone into effect yet, by the way. Now, sometimes the transgressions are so severe that they will still go to class action. For example, Equifax, 145 million people. You've got state attorneys general who have been suing them, and Equifax initially tried to go to arbitration on this, but it was such a big issue that they could not avoid the possibility of class action, and that's something that will hang over them and Wells Fargo, for that matter. Wells Fargo has been doing this, and in addition to the bogus accounts that Wells Fargo has, they still have other issues, such as unwarranted fees, where they were just tacking on fees on people's accounts, issues that go back for years and years, where they've tried to push it between class action and arbitration. So it appears now that only the biggest, most egregious faults of the big companies will ever find their way to class action lawsuits in the future.
Sinclair, this is unbelievable information. Thank you so much. We're going to take a break, and Sinclair will join us in the next segment. We're talking to Sinclair No from KFN.
You're listening to Wall Street Raw with Mark Leibovit. Go to wallstreetrawradio.com for information on Mark's newsletters and products. Stay tuned. Mark will be right back.
I'm now convinced more than ever that we're just one major headline away from the next market crisis. Guess what? A new timeline report that I just read says that I happen to be right. Something big is getting ready to happen, just like it does at least once a decade over the last 100 years. An energy crisis in 79, an S&L crisis in 89, and the last two I warned you about, remember? The dot-com bust in 99 and the subprime crisis in 09. What's next? I want you to call for a free copy of Swiss America's new timeline report.
Thanks, Michael. Call toll-free 888-732-7164. That's 888-732-7164.
I've told you often, those who don't learn from history are destined to repeat it. Take action. It's no longer a question of if it's going to happen. It's just a question of when it's going to happen.
Call toll-free 888-732-7164. That's 888-732-7164.
Does the current world crisis in North Korea or our domestic crisis right here in America concern you? Well, I know it concerns me. My friends over at Legacy Food Storage have solutions in the event there's the inevitable. What's the inevitable? Civil unrest, a run on your local grocery store. And here's my question to you. If this happens, how do you feed your children? How do you feed your grandchildren? Legacy Food Storage has the solutions. In fact, they can help you implement a simple plan to take care of your needs in the event of the inevitable. By calling them right now, I have authorized them to give you a special 20% discount at checkout by simply using GCN. Call 888-543-7345 or visit them at legacyfoodstorage.com. That's 888-543-7345 or visiting them at legacyfoodstorage.com. Make sure you use GCN at checkout for an incredible 20% discount. Don't be a victim. Take control of your life now.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX That's 800-34-NO-TAX or my website, danpilla.com.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business, so make sure that they create a positive impression with ReputationDefender.com. What the Internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with ReputationDefender.com. Call 800-831-0771 now. That's 800-831-0771 for your free reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with ReputationDefender.com. Our dedicated experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-831-0771 to learn more. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771. Or visit ReputationDefender.com.
It's a no-brainer. A Big Berkey water filter is the one you need, period. You need a water filter that removes chlorine, fluoride, pharmaceuticals, BPA, and other endocrine disruptors, pesticides, bacteria, viruses, and much more, right? And does it all at only 2 cents per gallon. Get the original, most trusted name in gravity water filtration, Big Berkey. And now GCN listeners receive 5% off ceramic filter systems using code GCN. Call or click 1-877-99-BERKEY or BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY.
Responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
There is no freedom without the law.
Get it? Got it? Good.
Welcome back to Wall Street Raw and the final segment with Mark Leibovit. Now, here's the elf himself.
Welcome back, Sinclair No from KFNN 1510 Phoenix, and author of the great blog EatTheBankers.com. Well, we have a big week coming up. A lot of news past week, too, Sinclair. For example, this coming week, of course, Halloween is on Monday. No trick-or-treat there, I guess. The Fed will meet again, but doesn't appear there's going to be any change in interest rates.
Now, the next time we see the Federal Reserve doing anything of consequence is going to be the December FOMC meeting, where they will probably raise interest rates. That's the opinion, and that's the way the markets are looking, and they seem to have priced it in at this point. We've seen interest rates moving a little bit higher recently. Yield on the 10-year Treasury has gone up to 2.45, right in that range there. And I think everybody's expecting the Fed to raise interest rates at the December meeting, which could well be the last that we see of Federal Reserve Chair Janet Yellen.
Right.
Now we're starting to look at who's going to replace her.
Yeah, there's a story on Bloomberg this morning about Jay Powell as being the most likely candidate. Do we know much about him?
Yeah, we know a bit about him. He's typically been wrong.
Okay.
That's one of the most amazing things that I can say about Jay Powell. Going back to 2008, he got the crisis completely wrong, failed to even look at it, and continued to look at even as 2008 was melting down. He was looking at the situation and saying, our big problem right now is inflation. Global financial meltdown, and he's saying our big problem is inflation. Not only did he miss it, and a lot of people missed it, but once it was underway and happening, he still denied it. I don't know where this is going to go. The other possibility is John Taylor. Seems to come down now to Jay Powell and John Taylor. There's even talk about combining the two. Maybe one is chairman, one is vice chairman, because we still have to deal with the departure of Stanley Fischer as well. So we're seeing some major changes that are going to take place at the Federal Reserve. Where that takes us in the coming years, I don't know, but I would not want to be a policymaker with the Federal Reserve moving into 2018. I don't know how this is going to go well with quantitative tightening, the Fed basically selling off part of their balance sheet, rising interest rates, and in that kind of an environment, just one little thing off kilter, and I think the markets could start responding very, very poorly. A lot of it's going to depend, I think, upon tax cutting and tax reform issues. The markets would love to see that, of course, but I don't know that it's going to happen, and if it does happen, I don't know that it's going to be quite what has been talked about so far. I don't know how it can be without imploding the deficit.
Well, maybe they'll change their plan. Meanwhile, this past week, we saw Mario Draghi.
They'll change their plan.
Oh, okay. Well, Mario Draghi, this past week, he avoided roiling the markets when he derailed the central bank's plan to cut its monthly bond purchases in half. So they're on a little different track over there.
A little bit different. Now, they are going to back off of quantitative easing. They're going to cut their bond purchases in half from about, I believe it's 60 billion euro down to 30 billion euro. So they're not going to be quite as aggressive on the bond purchases. But as far as interest rates, the basic idea is just to leave them where they are for now, which is basically near zero. 0% interest rates, Draghi says, could remain at the current levels until well past whenever the ECB finally decides to end its quantitative easing measures. So they're going to stop, slowly but surely, stop making bond purchases, and then they'll wait a while, and then maybe it'll be 2019, maybe it'll be 2020, but at some point in the future they'll think about raising rates. So for now, rates will be lower for longer. Markets in Europe really like that news this week. Bonds across Europe rallied hard. Stock market performed very well. The broader stock market over in Europe performed very well. Add to that, over in Japan, Shinzo Abe, the prime minister, held a snap election where he easily won re-election. And that means more of the very accommodative policies of Abenomics, the loose accommodative policies that have been underway in Japan. And we've seen the Nikkei index, the major exchange over in Japan, up, I think it's something like 18 out of the last 19 days. It's been on just a real winning streak. And then don't forget you had China wrapping up their once every 5-year Communist Party get-together in confab, and Xi Jinping is basically dictator for the rest of our lives. And he will continue to be pretty accommodative and pro-growth as far as the Chinese economy is concerned. So what we're really seeing now is this incredible global economic growth going on pretty much around the globe. It's really quite remarkable.
Right, they're slamming on the accelerator. They're slamming on the accelerator. That's what they're doing.
Exactly. Even though we're growing here, we're not the fastest growing nation in the world anymore by any stretch of the imagination. It's really quite incredible what's happening now.
Sinclair, thank you so much. Sinclair No from KFN in 1510 Phoenix. Have him back, of course, next week, every week. And please check out his blog, eatthebankers.com. Thank you, Sinclair. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, Mark.
Well, it appears we lost Sinclair's No interview here, so technical problems, which I apologize for, a little bit out of my control. But we have about a minute and a half here to the end of the show, and Sinclair will be back with us next week, and hopefully we'll be able to keep the technical problems to a minimum. But I want to thank Rob Levy and Harry Boxer and Henry Weingarten and Kyle Dennis for joining us on the show so far today, this Saturday, the 28th. What we can talk about in just a few
Thank you for listening to Wall Street Raw with nationally recognized market timer and previous Wall Street Week Elf, Mark Leibovit. If you missed any of today's show or to get in touch with Mark, please go to wallstreetrawradio.com. Any stocks or investment discussed on Wall Street Raw are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. We first recommend you seek out a licensed financial professional for advice. Go to wallstreetrawradio.com for more information on Mark's newsletters and products.
High-performance investors and traders use superior financial tools to achieve superior returns. You have that tool with Mark Leibovit, nationally renowned top market timer, legendary television Wall Street Week Elf, and nightly business report market monitor, who shares with you his unique market tools and commentary at wallstreetraw.com. Here, Mark provides you with his latest ideas on how to help build and protect your wealth and help you avoid the next big market tsunami. Mark has a special free gift for listeners of his Wall Street Raw radio show. Go to wallstreetraw.com and sign up for his free monthly Cannabis Vice News Raw report. While there, go ahead and sign up for his free monthly Gold News Raw report. Both are totally free. No credit card information is required, and no one will call. Sign up today for your free Cannabis Vice News Raw report and Gold News Raw report at wallstreetraw.com.
This just in. Before your doctor gives you another antibiotic prescription that you don't want, get this free report, The Miracle of Garlic, your first home medicine. This free report is filled with easy kitchen remedies for common colds, flus, sore throats, ear infections, and more. Plus, learn to boost your immunity before you get sick. Go now to gcnwellness.com. Just like it sounds, gcnwellness.com to get your free report, The Miracle of Garlic. Click gcnwellness.com.
Water is the single most important thing your body needs, so you want to be sure it's the best for you and your family. Since 2005, thousands have depended on Berkey Purified Water. The Berkey Guy provides the lowest price filtration systems in every size for incredibly delicious water now and in an emergency. Get to GoBerkey.com or call 877-886-3653. 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com.